It's 4 a.m. right now. We're in our rental car and it's time to start exploring this beautiful country. We landed at Queen Aliyah Airport, and right when we landed, we just picked up a car. Car we got is a nice little Kia, good for the two of us. Ready to get this adventure started. So the first spot we got out at is Mount Nebo. It's literally 5 a.m. here. There's not much to do, but this is basically the spot where Moses stood on a hill and discovered the promised land. It's closed right now, so we can't get in. So basically from 4 a.m. we've just been trying to figure out what to do. We were driving on these crazy roads for the last little while. It's been dark, but then we finally decided to go into Main Hot Springs, and the guy there was really nice. He said the site opens at 9, but he let us in at like 6:30. There's no one even here yet. It feels like we're gonna have the water springs to ourselves until like 9 a.m. And in this place, they even have this natural sauna right there where Katya is. It's just a little cave, and you just go in there. It's a nice hot room, and it just feels so nice in there. And it costs 15 Jordanian dinar, which is pretty pricey considering you'll only probably be here for 2 or 3 hours. But it's a cool experience to try out.
This is my first time at a hot springs, and honestly, I loved it so much. It was so cool. This is so crazy to see now in the daylight. Honestly, when we were driving at night, I had no idea what we were driving through, but this is incredible. So we just finished eating at Beit Sweimeh. It's a women-run business where they cook traditional Jordanian dishes, and we got to try out a few of them right now. We got a kofta with tahini. We got hummus with meat and chicken.
Yeah, I thought the food was pretty average. I feel like there's a lot better food that we can find here. I would honestly give it a C tier. We went in and they just wrote down a price, and I think we kind of got scammed at that place. So the next site we went to see was the baptismal site of Jesus Christ. And honestly, this was such a cool tour, definitely worth it. From the start, you can only do it in a tour because you're not allowed to go near the border of the West Bank by yourself. So they take you on a tour bus and you get a tour guide, and he basically shows you all around. He tells you about all the history. So how John the Baptist was baptizing people in the River Jordan, and he was baptizing people for about 6 years before he baptized Jesus at the site that he shows you. And then you can even go into the River Jordan, pick up some water for yourself. It was a really cool tour. I definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was so interesting, and our tour guide was so informative and answered any questions you had about the different events in history. He was very knowledgeable, and it was just really cool just to see history in real life.
Also on the way down, when you're driving, you can see Jericho, which is the oldest inhabited city ever, which is really cool. It's just over the border. And then you can also see Jerusalem, and that's a cool tour to do. Unfortunately, right now, those are not available because you can't cross over the border from Jordan. The next site we just made it to is called Jerash. All of these are old Roman ruins. Basically, this is kind of the furthest east they came. They didn't go beyond Jordan into Saudi Arabia. And this itself was a really big city. There's actually so much to visit. It's so massive. And the fact that I think about the Roman Empire at least 2 times a day makes it so cool. Even if it's not on your way, you should definitely consider coming here because the site is just actually amazing. There's so much history here. And it's probably the biggest site I've ever seen any ruins at. Maybe the only site that is bigger is Pompeii. I'm not sure which one's bigger or not, but this is actually considered the Pompeii of the Middle East. So something I recommend getting before coming here is the Jordan Pass. And basically you need to stay in Jordan for at least 3 nights to be able to get it. And there's 3 different types of passes you can get. And that just depends on how many days you want to spend in Petra. So it's either 1, 2, or 3. And then those go up by 5 Jordanian dinars by how many days you want to spend in Petra. And the Jordan Pass is worth it because it gets you a free entry visa, which is already more expensive than the pass. You also get the entry into Petra. You get entry into Wadi Wadi Rum, and a bunch of different attractions throughout Jordan. So the first thing I've realized about Jordan, just everyone wants to make money off of you. They try to act friendly, and then you get quoted a massive price. Even everything at gift shops is just a high price, higher than you would expect it to be in even like any other city. It's just every tourist item is just really high priced. Jordan itself is really beautiful and I love it, but you need to watch out for a lot of scams. People love to just quote you more money for something, or just give you something, pretend it's free, and then they'll ask money for it or give you a sob story for it. Also, just like everything at a gift shop, watch out for that, because that's just gonna be heavily overpriced stuff that you shouldn't be paying that much for. And the change in climate has been insane. When we started off at night, it was 13 degrees, and then we went down to the Dead Sea, and there it was like 24 degrees. The Jesus site was 24 degrees. Now we went up to Jerash. Over there, it's like, again, 12 degrees, like pretty cold. So the change in temperatures has been really drastic. And that's just like going an hour in each direction in Jordan. Damn, driving in Amman and Jordan in general is actually so intense. You basically need to be on high alert the whole time because the lanes that are there don't exist. It's fine to drive outside of the cities, but cities like Amman, Asalt, Jerash, all three of those, be like on high alert when driving. Alright, so the first thing we're trying when we got to Amman is this place called Shawarma Reem for a delicious beef shawarma. It's just like a nice little red hut. It's funny because there's a spot in my city, Zielona, where they serve zapiekankas, which is like basically Poland's version of a shawarma. And they serve those in a tiny little red hut. The place is literally called Czerwona Budka. And this place is also just a tiny little red hut. So we're gonna go try it out. I can already tell it's gonna be so good just because of that. So we got 2 of their beef shawarmas. It was $3.40 for both of them, so a really good price. All right, let's give it a shot. First shawarma here. The shawarma was actually really good. The meat was really juicy and flavorful, and it's definitely the spot to try when you're here in Amman. So we're in Amman now, which is a place often overlooked by a lot of people when visiting Jordan. They usually hit the main popular sites, but we just had dinner at Hashem restaurant, which is a really popular one downtown. When going there, I definitely recommend getting hummus. It's so good from there.
One of my favorite hummuses I've ever had.
So we got hummus, baba ganoush, 2 stuffed falafels and a couple more just falafels, and 2 teas. All of that was pretty good. I would recommend the falafels and the hummus the most. All of that was 5 Jordanian dinar. After that, we went to Habiba Sweets, a really popular spot for dessert, and we ended up getting a knafe. Honestly, I didn't really like it. Probably C tier for me, but I hear it's really popular.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, it just wasn't my type of dessert.
The hummus though, definitely S tier from Hashem. Another thing I really recommend doing after these restaurants is hitting up the old town and just walking around through all the souks. You got like people selling knockoff perfumes for 10 JOD, and you got a bunch of other stuff, some gift shops, some clothes. It's just cool to check out and be in that vibe. It's a really nice part of the city. One thing that probably nobody tells you is how hilly Amman is. If you're walking around any parts of it, you're gonna be consistently walking through hills. And I think that's Katya's favorite part about the city.
We grabbed these random treats last night from Habiba, and they are so good. They are like the perfect level of sweetness, and they're like creamy. They're so good.
They hit after too. The aftertaste is crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think these are S tier. They are so good.
Yeah, I wish I knew what these are called, but find something that looks like this, it's gonna be an S tier. We're starting the day now at the Amman Citadel. This is the furthest the Roman Empire stretched. They tried taking over Saudi Arabia too, but they had to turn back because they didn't have enough vitamin C in their diet. So they all got paralysis in their limbs. So in the 3rd century BC, Amman was taken over by someone named King Ptolemy Philadelphus II, and he named this city Philadelphia after himself. So the city actually used to be called Philadelphia, and then later on, that city in the US that you know as Philadelphia was actually named after this city. Also, these sites are just so different from ones in like Greece and Italy. In those countries, you'll have guards everywhere and you can't touch or walk on any of the stones. Here, it's just kind of all around and you can kind of walk and no one's really looking at you. You can kind of touch everything. So depends on how you look at it, if that's a pro or a con, but that's just the way it is. Thought your local stadium had a steep stairway, wait until you come here and climb up these stairs. It's kind of crazy though too, there's no like safety or anything, so when you're walking up the stairs or even just like sitting on the stands, it's actually a little bit scary because it's so easy to fall. The stairs are so narrow too. So now we're at the Roman Theater, and this site is actually crazy. It could sit 6,000 people, and the sun was positioned perfectly to have spotlights on the show. It was in an optimal spot at the time they had shows and everything, and it was actually really well thought out, and it's a really well built theater too. What's amazing about this city is you can basically park anywhere you want, and not just in the city, basically all around Jordan so far we found. You can just park your car anywhere, and if there are car parks, they're usually free, and they're beside the big destinations like the Amman Citadel.
So one of the things that I've been noticing as a woman is I've been getting a lot of unwanted stares from various people, military, men. You definitely start to notice it after a while. I would definitely stay covered up in the city just because you don't need more unwanted attention, as well as we're looking at getting me a headscarf just to cover up my hair and making me look less Western. I think it's because I do have blonde hair and it does stand out a decent amount in the city.
Went to Al Quds Falafel, got one spicy one not spicy one. Let's see how good they are. They're 1 dinar and 1/3 for 2 falafel sandwiches. Funny thing about the coins is that they're just like written like 1/3, 1/2. It's not like a value to them, they're just fractions.
This is one of the best falafels I've ever had. I definitely think this is S tier.
Love the sandwich, so good, but in my opinion it's probably A tier, but unanimously we'll put it in S tier, I guess. And if you're gonna get one, I do recommend getting the spicy one. The non-spicy one kind of feels like it's missing that one spice. So we just visited King Abdullah Mosque. It was our first time ever at a Middle Eastern mosque. It was a nice experience. Katya had to wear this little suit and it was about 2 jod per person. Nice to see. Not much to do in there. It's just a mosque for praying mainly. So we just walked into Abdali Mall. It's right beside King Abdullah Mosque, and honestly, there's no need to go in there. Everything there is so much more expensive. You have a couple stores selling American products for basically double the price you would find them in the US. Also, something I found about Jordanians is that they're very, very friendly people. Like the ones who aren't just going to sell you stuff, they want to give you stuff for free sometimes. The number one common question you'll get asked is, where are you from? We just went through Old Town, and Old Town is like this hectic area with a bunch of souks. We went through all the souks, just get like spices, coffees, teas. Everyone will offer you coffee if you're in their store. It's crazy. One of the coolest things I think we found was everyone makes knockoff perfumes and they smell exactly like the real ones for much cheaper. They give it in these cool bottles.
There's so many random scents. You can name them any perfume that you like that you use at home and they make it for you.
Yeah, it's so cool, and they do it in this oil, so it's not like fully like the perfume, but they smell exactly the same. Out of all this stuff, we did so much shopping ourselves, but I think it's all worth it. I don't even know how much we spent because we just kept buying stuff. Also, so far everywhere we've gone, people have been so nice, and if we ask for like 4 of something, they'll give us 6. If we ask for like 5 of something, they'll give us 8, all for the same price. Another thing we hear all the time is just mosque prayers, and they're on speakers throughout the whole city, so you just hear it everywhere. It's just interesting to see that, and it's at random moments throughout the day. It's there like maybe every half an hour from different mosques around the city. First impressions overall though, I think people are just really friendly. Amman is obviously really hectic. A lot of what I found maybe more outside of Amman, but this happens a bit in Amman too. People just want your money. I'd say that more outside of Amman, they'll scam you, but inside Amman, you'll meet actually a lot of friendly people.
Being a woman in Amman, I've never felt in danger. I never felt like I stood out more than any other person, and honestly, it's been a really pleasant surprise.
Yeah, but next we're going to the Dead Sea, so check out that video. It's going to be really cool. We're going to be traveling all around Jordan. I really hope you enjoyed this video of our first impressions of Jordan. Please like and subscribe because it really helps me out. Stay tuned, and I'll see you again in the next one.